With rapid adoption of technologies in healthcare delivery, it is less constrained with the geography and nationality or even by the institutional boundaries. All of us know about it in the recent COVID times. Some aspects of the healthcare process are now shifted from the medical centers back into the home and communities. We talk about telehome care and population health. Telehealth applications intended for health promotion, social services, and other activities besides the clinical application of telemedicine or telehealth. So it is now more for wellness and while addressing the illness aspect also. Now, the health information websites, online support groups, automated telephone counseling, interactive health promotion programs, and electronic mail exchanges that will become order of the day. All these things are now covered with the telehealth services. Growth of consumer health informatics. Best example that we see in our COVID times for last 1.5 years, 2 years. So many companies have come up, startup companies have come up. At the same time, we have several questions about their ethical aspects, but we all adopt it and we all accept it. So any individual can seek medical care or information, are able to find various health information resources that take advantage of new information technology. There are companies, they request doctors. I also got many requests that to be part of their group to deliver this kind of services. Now, before I go further, I'd like to just tell the audience that a lot of definitions and a lot of terminologies are there, which creates a lot of confusion. It's all the same in different, served in different platter, but at the same time, there are minor differences. So I'll just go to the two things. One is telemedicine and telehealth. I'll leave aside the M-health, e-health, and digital health, so on and so forth. So these two terms are used more frequently. So telehealth is the use of electronic information and telecom technologies to support long-distance clinical healthcare. Patient and professionals are health-related education, public health, and health administration. So if you can see here, it covers a wide gamut of applications in the arena using the ICT. At the same time, let us look at what is the distinction between telemedicine and telehealth. They have been used interchangeably, but I think you should know about it. There's a little difference because telehealth broadly covers a very large area, where telemedicine covers in a small area. So, and digital health again, a very broad area. So here what happens actually in telemedicine, the doctor has to be there. Whereas in telehealth, doctor may not be there. Because for example, you are accessing some sites or some companies are giving us some service, the doctor not being there. There are many some services where there is no need of a doctor to be there. So telehealth and telemedicine differs in that, but both the things common is they use ICT, that is information technology as well as communication technology, and distance is a factor for both the services, where the service provider as well as the service seekers are separate. So these two are common denominator for both the things. Like telephone, linking telephone, video, text mail, home computers, and other low-cost technology to various services to facilitate exchange of the health-related information. It can be store and forward systems of telehealth service. At the same time, we have got very advanced applications like real-time applications of telemedicine, like video consultations interactively, and also same time you have real-time tele-interventions, whether it is a telesurgery or any other interventional procedures are being done. You might have heard about a couple of months ago, there was angioplasty done remotely. So any kind of intervention also is possible now with robotic and robotic assisted devices. So what I mean to say is that it's very important to know that the old technology of store and forward still valid today. Like a pathology, for radiology, all the applications, you don't need to be in real time. You can just leave the images, somebody can report and give you the report. Now let's define what is ethics. I mean, a lot of people are being researchers, of medical ethics. And it is a kind of thing that anybody can define in any other way you like in ethics. So I just picked up one definition from a dictionary. And it's an attempt to define that common definition of ethics to the medical ethics. But at the same time, ethics are the rules or conduct recognized in respect to a particular class of human actions or particular group or culture that constitute a system of moral principles. But at the same time, there is a very thin margin between morality and ethics. They can be separate also. So I'm not going to detail about that. There are kind of chapters written about that. But what is more important is what Professor Sunil has just said, about our ethical practices in the medicine. So professional ethics is very important. It's a systematic application of moral principles through uniform rules of the conduct that we practice day by day with the Hippocratic oath. Now let us come to the focus of discussion in my topic today is ethical challenges. As I told you, I'm not going to cover the guidelines, etc. That will be another speaker's domain. I'll talk about the issues and challenges that we are going to face now, are facing it now also. The telehealth is not only technological improvement, but a re-engineering of the healthcare process. That is very, very important to understand. It has completely disturbed the entire system, entire milieu of the healthcare delivery systems, and is requiring consideration of socio-technical aspects of the design and development. Some questions whether this is new model of medical attention is clinically effective and provides positive outcomes for the users. That also becomes very, very important. My previous speaker spoke about that. This outcome analysis needs to be done. Both effectiveness and ethics of such services are still to be proved. Let me tell you, we talk so much about telemedicine, telehealth for decades now, 2 decades, almost more than that. Till now, we don't have a control kind of studies. You not find very few control studies. Not many control studies are there to prove that telemedicine is effective than the face-to-face medicine. Little time was left to avoid adoption before thinking through moral applications. What to talk about morality? When total lockdown is there, we just need to talk to somebody. So there's no question of ethics coming to the picture. So they don't get, system doesn't give you time to really analyze or do evaluations before accepting it in a system. Now, home-based telemedicine is being driven by economical and technological criteria with little attention to its ethical appropriateness or justification. The need of development of framework and guidelines through recent discussions before technology becomes too entrenched to be able to effect changes. That will be talked about by Mr. Ganapathy later on. Some of the guidelines are available with us now, so they will be talking about that in detail. Now, I'm using the word tension. There are really ethical tensions surrounding telehealth technology and practice. Common ethical concerns are privacy, security, confidentiality, and information accuracy. All of us know about it actually in a day-to-day practice, our records, etc. But we never address that the issues of design. We design a telehealth system, we never take into account the stakeholders. The design is done by the engineers, the software developers, not by the policymakers, not by the patients. They're not involved at all in this. Neither the doctors are involved also. Evaluation issues in telehealth and clinical research are very, very important. We make a product, give it to the doctors to evaluate. When is the time to evaluate that? Individuals using technologies has to have informed consent while they're enjoying the autonomy and empowerment. Today, anybody has a mobile phone, they have the access to anybody, and they can use any kind of medical records and exchange that you have seen again during the corona crisis. Relationship among various individuals involved, such as patients, providers, caregivers, and people within the patient's family are also very important. Even while you're talking to your patient, you don't want that patient relative to there. You do not know what kind of equation they have among themselves in the family. But you want somebody to be standing there along with that. So that is also very, very important. They're small issues, but they're very relevant. At the same time, societal and policy issues also has to take into account while talking of ethics. Now, ethical issues concerning design. I'll touch upon very few things in this aspect. Conflicts between various aspects of technology usage and such as ethical principles as abridgment of privacy, including combining and mining the data. You said the data, a lot of actions are happening. What is happening to the data, you don't know. You must have faced this crisis in recent times, where there are a lot of issues are concerned in newspaper about data breach. So many social media things. And the data privacy rules could not get approved in the last parliament session. It's already now. And it's very important to know that is it really accurate? And is it obsolete? Or is there any security breaches are there in that? Now, at the same time, so much of technology gives you opportunity. There are a lot of information overload. I'm just to give an example. Some relatives send me documents relating to COVID patients. It is covering so much of space in my telephone. I have to immediately erase it. It contains the CT scans. It got so much of reports, etc. So many things, prescriptions. It is don't require all those things, but it has been sent by the patient. You cannot ignore it. So a lot of information overload. How much is usable and how much user friendly, that needs to be decided. Data standards is maintained or not, and integration of or linking of patient and personal information to the achieve interoperability. You have to exchange when you did the healthcare organizations, healthcare individuals, for records exchange are again, there are tricky issues of standardizations, and at the same time influence the personal health management and public health. And how new applications fit with the changes in the healthcare delivery and health information infrastructure. That is another issue. Now, all these things are not theoretical now. All these things, all of us have experienced in the last COVID thing. Last, it is all ongoing also, COVID crisis. The quality and accuracy of online information also is of deep concern, which various honor codes and vetting mechanisms have evolved to help ensure it. Whether individuals would use technology or whether or not it is usable or obtrusive. How much are actual users involved in the user-centered and user-friendly design approaches to telehealth applications? This all needs to be considered about that. Now, ethical concerns related to applications. Informed consent, of course, all of you practices. Now we're empowering, at the same time giving autonomy to the patients as well as the caregivers. That also needs to be seen that how much it is ethically controlled. Changing relationship, we have found that we have got different kind of relationship now. Any patient can contact any doctor. Societal issues are there. Specific care domains, the ethical issues are different. Telenursing, mostly for home care. Acute versus chronic care. Internet of Things and cloud-based healthcare. This is now the common technology that you are following actually. So there also many things are now subjects of concern. Then when talking of fee for service, and fee for service brings the third party also into the picture. So there are issues in that. When you take money, then you are bound to some of these regulations, rules, and legal issues. In the area of the e-learning, in the area of education, in the area of telementoring and tele-trainings, there are also a lot of ethical concerns are there. We previously used to practice sharing live surgeries to our remote learners. Now, Minister of Health has given a strict instruction, no live surgery can be shared. You can capture the video, edit it, and post it in the portal, not live surgery. And all of us has really heard about the news where in AMS Delhi, there was an incident where a patient lost during the surgery. So these are issues also have a lot of ethical concern. Now to conclude, the need to broaden and deepen understanding of how to use the technologies that have so much to offer for improving both health and well-being. Need for evaluation of these technologies that addresses their ethical and societal aspects, thereby adding to the thoughtful considerations and colleagues' call for finding ways to use the new technologies to benefit patients and practitioners while avoiding potential pitfalls. We have so many questions without answers yet. So thank you very much for your kind attention.